have a confession to make. I didn't really like ReZero when I first watched it. I saw it again the other day and it became one of my favorite anime. I didn't really like Frieren when it first came out. I watched it again the other day and it became one of my favorite anime. In fact, 4 out of the 5 series, which I consider to be one of the greatest anime of all time, are all anime I didn't really like at first, but eventually when I gave it one more chance, it became something even greater. I'm sure some of you all have an anime in mind where you didn't really like it at first, but eventually when you kept on watching it, you loved it by the very end. Or you have an anime that you dropped, eventually picked it up again, then you watched it and oh shit, you realize that is my favorite anime. So what is this phenomenon? Is this just Stockholm Syndrome talking, or did the series actually get better? Or what if there's a relationship between the viewer's experience and the anime? When I was first watching ReZero, I was in the first year of middle school with no concept of where babies came from. Seeing Subaru suffer through all those horrific experiences, for me as a kid, I didn't fully grasp the significance of what Subaru has went through. For me at the time, it was basically equivalent to you showing me gore videos purely for shock value. So I eventually dropped it. When I was first watching Frieren, I was in the first year of high school. I picked it up again in college and the themes and emotion of everything hit me so much harder. The feeling of looking back at the good old days, the feeling of not appreciating every single moments you have with other people meant a lot more to me since I actually experienced those feelings as well. We are so oversaturated with so many unique and fun anime that captivates us from the very start. Anime that hooks you instantly without building itself up. But are the anime that we call trash back then, can we confidently say that they are trash today? Can an anime you saw 10 years ago and drop, can watching it change your mind? Because your brain evolved to understand some of the concepts of that show. What if the anime didn't change? You did. Today, we're gonna be talking about giving anime a second chance. Subscribe, like, support small creators like me, and fuck chat. When I was 12 years old, me and my friend Leo, who's a pro boxer now, loved the same genre of anime. And of course, since we were kids, you would guess that genre would be shonen. Anime such as 7 Deadly Sins, JoJo, and Demon Slayer were all anime that caught our very eye. And guess what anime didn't caught our eye? Slice of life anime. I think the only anime that we watched in a school setting is actually High School DxD and High School of the Dead. And you can guess why we watched some of those anime, and we were 12. Everyone thought in the friend group that watching those rom-coms, those seinen, those slice of life animes that looked like they were for kids, even though we were kids to begin with, were all boring. And that we will never watch them because we were boys and we were men, and that there are better anime out there. I mean, we're already in school suffering the wrath of a 40-year-old Chinese teacher who only follows porn accounts on Instagram. So do you really think we will watch school life anime in school over cooler anime such as Afro Samurai and Cowboy Bebop? Of course not. But now 7 years later, can you guess what genre we can't stop watching? That's right, slice of life anime. Leo's watching anime such as Clannad, Bunny Girl Senpai, and Nisekoi, which don't tell him this because he'll kick my ass. These are all anime I actually put him on.
Leo is nothing but a worthless anime LARPer that sucks at Super Smash Bros. Sarah, what anime are you watching right now?
Thank you, Jollibee. Well, right now, I'm reading series such as Too Many Losing Heroine, Tune Into My Midnight Heart, and I Made Friends with the Second Prettiest Girl in My Class. And guess what they all have in common? They are all romance anime. Anime that we considered to be gay and cringe are now some of our favorite anime. And don't get me wrong, we still like shonen anime. We just changed our mind that, oh shit, we actually like this other genre. really good genre. So now I'm thinking, I'm put my thinking cap on. Is experience important when watching anime? Does timing change what anime is good for you? Shows like Frieren about nostalgia. Can a teenager really fully understand what that fully means? Can someone who's not bullied or someone who doesn't understand guilt, can they understand the importance of a silent voice? Your Lion April, Violet Evergarden, Anohana, can they be fully understood by people who never experience grief? And I say yes, because I understand those shows and I never experienced like heavy grief like that. But researching this video, now I'm thinking, how can I be so sure that I fully understand these shows, since there's so many things that change our interpretation of things in anime? Sometimes you're too young to understand. Sometimes you come in with high expectations. Sometimes the timing isn't just right and you couldn't relate to it. Chainsmoker Cat swept the internet because the lifestyle of the main character was seen as disgusting. Yet many people who watched it are probably in their teens, not knowing that real people actually live like this day to day, sabotaging themselves until they are disgusting. So maybe the show is actually meant to be disgusting. You can dislike a character because they're disgusting, but it does not mean that the writing failed. Some people called it realistic because they haven't seen those type of examples. That's why I think timing matters more than anything. The people who came in during the great anime shift of the pandemic probably came in being introduced to anime such as JJK and Chainsaw Man. So they probably think that that specific genre of anime is what anime is, avoiding all other genres. So when they see anime such as Madoka Magica or Angel Beats, they probably find it a little weird. But maybe in a year or so, 4 years down the line, maybe their opinions might change. Maybe they grow tired of the senseless fighting and try something new, because that something might become their favorite anime. People are so used to shitting on things without giving it a try. I explained it in my Fairy Tail video, which all of you should check out, but in that video, many people were calling Fairy Tail anime's trash can, calling it a bunch of slurs I wish I could say in this channel without getting cancelled. You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. Fairy Tail is a big fat ass. And this was when I was 9 years old, watching Fairy Tail because my crush told me to watch it. And looking through the internet, the vast majority of my time just scrolling as a dumb little kid, I was distraught. I was like frightened. I was like exposed that people were calling a series that I like bad. I saw a video about Fairy Tail. I saw another, and soon I was afraid that if I say I like Fairy Tail, that these people were about to get me. And that realization forced me to hide my fandom away. But now think about this in another perspective. If I didn't watch Fairy Tail at first and I saw all those hate comments, going around about it, I would have probably never gave Fairy Tail a shot. I would have probably stayed away from it, never giving it a chance. And a chance is all that I'm asking here, people, because your own experiences can change what a story can mean to you. But to be my own devil's advocate, what if I just fully don't understand the story? What if the anime is just not for me? Origaru is an example of an anime I really didn't like. I probably gave it a handful of different tries, both reading and watching it, and I'm possibly the biggest slice of life romance fanatic out there, and I never really enjoyed Origaru. And for years on the internet, I have dunked on this series so many times. I have hated it to the point that I was campaigning for people to actually watch real romance anime like Nisekoi and Quintessential Quintuplet. But to call an anime I personally didn't like bad was again like kind of weird, because all of the other people who I trust with anime opinions, they said like, oh, you would love this anime. And Origaru is heavily like loved by so many people. So maybe it's me. Maybe I personally didn't like it. And that's okay. Maybe I shouldn't call it bad. maybe I should just call it I didn't really like it and it's not for me. And of course, I would be very open to give Oregaru another chance. But if it's still, not for me, that's okay. And the opposite can be true as well. What's an anime that you love that you eventually despise? As you grew older, sometimes you realize that these shows didn't really hold up. Back then, I loved Dr. Stone, Classroom of the Elite, Shield Hero. Then I realized later on, the anime doesn't really hit the same anymore. Senko explaining every single invention doesn't hit the same anymore. Ayano Koji felt like a badass mastermind before, but now he just seems like an unlikable asshole. And Shield Hero just fell off and just became generic isekai. Or at least that's what I think. My opinions on things have changed. Am I ever open to try again with some of these shows? Of course, maybe in the future. Hopefully not. But also I'm conflicted here because there are anime that are just legitimately bad. Like bad for bad's sake. Not even Michael Jackson bad. They're just bad. Promise Neverland Season 2, Darling in the Franxx second half, Erase ending with Kayo. We get into the territory of like, oh shit, do we give every anime a second chance? Does every anime that people dislike deserve your time and effort to give it a second chance? Looking at all the anime I dropped, like Another, Deadman Wonderland, Power Rangers Hentai, To Love Ru, and Misfits of a Demon Academy, I would confidently say that I would probably not give another chance to like half of these. Maybe Another, maybe Deadman Wonderland, but like some of these shows, I tried it, I fully tried it, and I 100% definitely do not like it. Now, that shit ruins my entire argument. What's going on in this video? I can't understand it. Do I give it a second chance or do I not give it a second chance? I think there are three possibilities of watching these animes that you think are bad. A, you just don't like it. For me, that's anime such as Oregaru and Dadadan. I'm happy to try again though later down the line. But personally, I do not like these shows. B, you don't understand it. Like the ReZero and Freeran example, experiences change. Priorities change. The more you learn about the world, the more you understand some of the decisions and themes of this story. And lastly, C, it's just poorly written. A second viewing isn't gonna magically fix its horrible writing, no matter how much chances you give it. Sometimes things are just universally hated. Listen, I'm not saying force yourself to like an anime. No, that is not the topic of this video. But maybe an anime you haven't watched because you think you dislike, maybe an anime that you dropped way before, might become your favorite anime if you gave it just another shot. But who knows? Subscribe, like, support more creators like me. I love you guys. Everyone stay back.